everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mashaya. As you can see by the title of this video, today I am going to be talking about my self-love / abstinence journey, how long I've been on the journey, what I've learned from this journey, what brought it about, and hopefully this is confirmation for someone that is watching this to either start their abstinence journey or to continue. If you're already on this journey, it's a long journey for you. I hope that the words that I have to give you today is very encouraging and motivating to you to just keep going and keep pushing through and keep putting self first. So let's go all the way back. We're gonna take it all the way back to when I was 10 years old. Yes, 10, because I have a little backstory for you that's gonna lead up to where I am today. So when I was 10 years old, there was someone in my life that I looked up to, that I admired so much because of her discipline, her self-respect, self-love, just doing things by the book, doing things as God said it should be done. That was my Thea, my aunt, and in my young, naive mind and eyes, she was just perfect to me, which I know is not the truth. Nobody's perfect, but in my young, naive mind and through my eyes, she was perfect. She waited until marriage to get involved with anyone. Then she started her family. She had the place, the car. She was a housewife. So I just knew that's how I wanted my life to be. That's how I wanted my life to turn out. So like, what do I need to do? So at that young age, at only 10 years old, I was very advanced for my age. I had discernment and I did the research. Like, what is it to be, what is it to wait until you're married? And so, of course, I come across abstinence and celibacy, and I look at it and I say, okay, that's what this is. So I'm gonna actively practice this so that I can have the same life. Like I said again, seeing it as perfect, even though it's not perfect in my eyes, I just know I want to live like that. So at the age of 10, I discovered what abstinence was, how to go about it, how to make it easier for yourself as you get older, dealing with temptation, through middle school and high school, things of that nature. So I remember in my earlier years being sexualized by my classmates because I was very well developed for my age. And at that time I was the only black girl in my class, for one, and I was the thickest black girl in the class. As far as my breasts, my hips, my booty, everything was just crazy. So every day there were guys, also girls too, complimenting me. Some were jealous, talking about me like in a negative way. And so I'll never forget, what was said, and I'll never forget who said it. And it got to a point where I just started going to school with oversized t-shirts on. Oversized t-shirts and jeans that were honestly a little too big, just to stop getting the comments, even the compliments. I just wore that to stop getting attention, period. And I know that to some that may be a little dramatic or a little extra, but I was just tired of it. I just felt like, I'm a kid, we're here to learn. Why are y'all paying attention to my body? I can't help how I'm built. Like, my mama gave me this, I'm so sorry about it. Like, that's not what we're here for. So just to not be confrontational and not have to be assertive towards people, my classmates, and even the teachers, I just started covering myself up. And so as I got older, middle school, high school, it stayed the same, never changed. I wasn't the student, I wasn't the person that anyone was looking at and eyeing and trying to get with. And I didn't mind that because I never wanted to, veer off on the wrong path and lose sight of abstinence and like get off course, So I didn't fall, into peer pressure of, drugs and alcohol and sex, which I feel like a lot of people, my age were doing at the time in high school. It's a big thing, peer pressure, having sex, doing grown folks things. It literally never, it wasn't even the last thing on my mind. It just wasn't on my mind, period, which for a lot of people was weird. A lot of people judged me for that. And so that's why I always kept my opinion, my beliefs to myself as I grew up in school. I just kept quiet, stayed in my books, and If it didn't involve me, if it wasn't schoolwork, if it wasn't band, if it wasn't volleyball, basketball, whatever I was in, I wasn't talking about it. I wasn't involved in it. I just stayed clear of all of that temptation, all that. So it wasn't until my freshman year of college I got into my first relationship, and the person that I was with was also abstinent. So there was never any temptation. There was never any like lust, like build up, anything like that. Of course we kissed, you know, we're together, we're in a relationship, but that feeling of, like I said, lust and temptation never was a thing at all. My second relationship was my senior year of college. So I've only been in 2 relationships. Those are the only 2. My senior year of college, that relationship lasted 2.5 years. And that is the person that I ended up giving my all to. So yes, I did not end up, you know, waiting until marriage. I decided that, you know, I was curious. And at that point, I'm like, I'm grown, I'm 21, I'm ready. So had sex with that person, and just imagine 2.5 years of consistent sex, and you go from that to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there are some people, or maybe a lot of people, that may have lost their virginity to somebody, you know, to some random person. It wasn't somebody that they were in a relationship with, so it wasn't that big of a deal, or it probably wasn't that deep. You know, for a lot of people, you know, losing virginity, you know, wasn't that deep to them. And I know from hearing stories, like, it just wasn't that deep. They just wanted to see what it was hitting on and keep it moving. But for me, to be in a relationship with the person that I lost my virginity to, you know, it was like, I need sex. I'm sorry, like that's just, I'm just being transparent. I don't mean to give too much information, but that's really how I felt. I'm just like, how am I going to live now? Like, how am I going to survive? And I know that sounds so dramatic, so terrible, but that's just really what it was for me at the time. So I'm like, there is no way. I have a roster, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So I was outside, my sides were out. Yes, these sides, they was out, because what, like, no sex? Yeah, no, that's a dub. We're not doing that. I'm sorry, I need some dick. That whole phase, as we like to call it, lasted all of, I want to say 2 months. Lasted all of 2 months. For some people it might be a very long time, for some people it might be a short time. And I remember, you know, initially I really tried to convince myself that I didn't have feelings for these men. I didn't care about them. I was just getting satisfied for a quick moment and keeping it pushing. But as time went on, I started to realize I really do have feelings. I really do care about the people I'm sleeping with, but also just the act itself. It was more intimate for me because of how much I care. It wasn't just like, okay, we finna do this and be done. I realized over time that I truly did crave intimacy, and you can't crave intimacy from sneaky links. You can't crave intimacy from missions, right? So I really have to just be real with myself and say, okay, this ain't for me. I don't want this. I want love, I want passion, I want intimacy, and if I keep doing this, I'm not gonna get it. So one day I had to just stop. I had no choice but to just stop. And so the way I stopped was I stopped contacting my sneaky links. And when they would contact me, I just wouldn't reply. I just ghosted all of them, which some might argue isn't the best way of, you know, communicating. But at the time, I didn't feel like I had to communicate anything. I didn't feel like I owed them that. You know, if y'all feel like that, you know, hey. But for me, that was the best way to not tempt myself. I didn't want to talk to them in person. I didn't want to call them, text them. I just wanted them to get the hint, like, I'm done. I'm sorry, but this is over. And of course, you know, at the time I figured they got plenty of other girls they can screw, they can mess around with. So, you know, what do I need to give them this long explanation for? Once I stopped doing that, I of course put my time into things more positive, more productive, things that were going to help me better myself in life. Because another thing that I realized was I'm not where I'm supposed to be. At that time, I was 24. I'm 28 now, but at that time, I was 24, and I'm like, I'm not even where I'm supposed to be in life. I'm still living with my people. I'm not making as much money as I would like to make. My savings ain't where it's supposed to be and where it need to be for me to get my own place. My priorities are screwed up. So some gotta give, you know, I need to sacrifice something, you know. And in order to get my mind straight, I knew that's what I had to give up. I knew that's what I had to sacrifice and get back to what the original plan was in the beginning when I was 10 years old, which was to be abstinent and to wait until the right person came along. So the first, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the first 4 to 6 months was definitely the hardest. I can't tell you, of course, because it's been 4 years, so I can't tell you what I did initially to replace that time with something, like I said, more positive, more productive. I can't tell you exactly what I did, but I just know that those first 4 to 6 months were the hardest for me. And then after that, it was smooth sailing, because like they say, the longer you go without something, the longer you can go without something. So that's how it was for me. After that 6-month period, I feel like it's just, the sex wasn't even on my mind. It wasn't nothing to think about. So I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I got it all out of my system. That's really how I felt. I felt like, okay, I got it all out of my system, so I don't need to double back on anything. I don't miss any of this, because again, what I crave is love and intimacy and passionate, you know, just something, passionate love making. Like, that's what I truly desire. So in the past 4 years, I've accomplished so much, and I'm so proud of myself. For one, finally in my own spot, you know, I moved all the way across the country by myself. Sometimes I still can't even believe I did that. Like, I moved all the way across the country by myself to start my life on the right foot. I'm much closer to God. I've always been close to God. I grew up in the church. I haven't been to church though in over 10 years. I will put it in the cards, I'll put it in the cards as to why, if you guys are curious, why I don't go to church anymore, what I've been through, what I've experienced, what I've witnessed. But yeah, I haven't been to church, but you know, I feel like, you know, church is within you. You know what I'm saying? Church is within you. A relationship is between two people, and that includes God, you know, respectfully. A relationship with God isn't, you know, you, God, and the congregation. Like, a relationship with God is just you and him. So over, you know, all these years, I haven't been in church. My relationship has still gotten, you know, stronger and stronger and stronger with him. I talk to him, you know, on my way to the gym, at the gym, in between my sets. I can be at Walmart. I can be in the car and just feel something come over me that I need to talk to him. I'll cut my music off. If I'm in Target, or if I'm, whatever I'm doing, whenever I feel like I need to talk to him, I will cut out all other distractions and I will sit down and I will have a conversation like he is here in the flesh. I've started my own business. My business is Alex Emile, which is my sister's name, who was stillborn. I named it after her. I think her name sounds beautiful. And what I sell is multi-purpose dust bags for your footwear and also your dirty garments when you're traveling, just to keep those dirty garments and, you know, footwear separate from your clean clothes. I will link, you know, my website down below so you guys can check it out if you would like. I've gotten back into art, so this gallery wall behind me, I know you can only see a little bit of it, but this gallery wall behind me, I created myself. I'm so proud of myself because I have not done art since 2016, 2017, which was my senior year of college, and I was in ceramics class at the time. So very proud of myself for this art, this whole gallery wall that I did. I am relearning Spanish right now, which I think is so important because where I'm at in my environment, Spanish is the first language. So I feel like it's just ignorant of me to not relearn it, you know, knowing that I still know a little bit of it. You know, I can learn, you know what I'm saying? I can learn again. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but again, I feel like it's just ignorant of me to just sit here and refuse to learn Spanish again. The last thing, like the biggest, of course there's so many things, but like the biggest thing, the last thing that's like the biggest thing for me, I've lost 50 pounds in this last year. I've lost 50 pounds. I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week at 4 a.m. Yes, 4 a.m. Your girl is in the gym. And I was in the gym 75 consecutive weeks. Prior to my accident, I was in the gym 75 consecutive weeks, and I was very proud of myself. That's the most consistent I've ever been in the gym, so I'm super proud of myself. And like I said, the list goes on, but those are just the most important things that I want to highlight, that I feel are due to, you know, me choosing abstinence, me choosing to put all that energy towards something greater, you know, for the greater good, for the betterment of myself. I've never been this confident before. I've never been so just in love with myself. I know that might sound weird, but I just haven't, because I really have taken the time to work on me, you know, doing the self-inventory, doing the work, figuring out where every area of my life where I can improve and I can become a better person, a better woman, a better friend, a better daughter, a better everything. I'm not perfect, of course. I have plenty of work to do, to keep doing, you know, and I'm going to keep doing that to improve. But again, I'm just hoping that all of this resonates with someone. I hope it's confirmation for someone to start their journey, or just to keep going on their journey. Be patient with yourself, and also don't rush anybody into your life. Don't rush love, don't rush sex, don't rush a relationship. Just keep working on you, and God is going to send the right person. Last couple things I want to say is what I think is so important. Something that I did last summer actually. I made a list, and this list is called The Man I Manifest. I'm gonna insert a screenshot here for you guys to see it. Of course, I'm not gonna show you everything that's on my list because it's personalized, but this is the list called The Man I Manifest, and there are 74 things on this list. And I know that sounds like an awful lot, but hear me out. So this list that I made is broken down into physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, financial, and sexual. So the things that you want to clearly have at the bottom are physical and sexual. Those are things that are not the most important. You want to have spiritual, mental, emotional. That's what's important. And of course, financial, because we looking for a provider. We looking for a man to take care of us, and, you know, really want to spoil us and do the absolute most for us. So, but the physical and the sexual, you want to make sure are at the very bottom, because that's not what, you know, that's not what's best for us. That's not always the best thing for us. I feel like when it comes to physical and sexual, we're so focused on our type, and a lot of the time the best love comes from someone that's not our type. Just being honest. Oftentimes the person that you see might not be a type, but that's the best one. That's the one that you need in your life. So that's why I say put those things last. Worry about, you know, their spirit. Worry about their emotional intelligence. Worry about, you know, where they are mentally. You know, if they're dealing with their trauma, if they've dealt with it already, they're already healed. Like, that is what is most important. And the last thing I want to leave you with is this book. When I tell you this book is, y'all need this book. Single is Your Superpower. This is a dating workbook, so it's not just reading. There are many prompts in here, and it will help you find your soul and find your soulmate. So you're going to discover your dating why, know exactly what you want in a partner, and refuse to ever settle for less than what you deserve. This book is $24, which I know some might look and think that this book is really small. It'd be $24, but I promise you it's not the amount of pages, it's the knowledge that's on the pages that you all need. You know, single, whether you're actively dating or not, highly encourage you to go to Barnes & Noble and pick up this book or order it if it's not in store near you. And I'm just gonna read a couple prompts in here just so you know what you're getting yourself into, what you're purchasing, because to me it's well worth it. So the first thing that I'm reading is one of the paragraphs. It is, your resolve and stubbornness to never settle is something you should be proud of. So just to show you guys the font in the book, just so you can see it's not all, like 12-point font or 10-point font or whatever. It's different fonts in here to make it more interactive and fun to read. One of the prompts is, what makes you want to go on a second date with someone? And I loved that question because oftentimes we think about the first date, like the perfect first date, but we don't think about the second date. Like, what makes you want to come back for more? Like, what is it about this person that makes you want to come back, double back? So what makes you want to go on a second date with someone? The next prompt is, what are 5 ways you want to grow with your partner? What does the future together look like? That is important. Very, very, very important. The next marker I have in here is, what are 5 ways you want your partner to make you feel? What are 5 ways you want your partner to make you feel? Write down 5 adjectives. That is something that's so different. That's one of the questions that honestly had me stuck for a minute. Like, how do I want them to make me feel? The next one is, what are 5 things your partner is willing to do for you? Write down 5 actions. So your ideal partner, the person that you love, that you want to spend the rest of your life with, what are 5 things that they're willing to do for you, that you just know, like your ideal person? What are they willing to do for you to make you happy? And just 2 more things I want to read out here. It says, when you combine resolve with an enthusiasm for experiences and thick skin, I'm confident you'll come to attract the right people in your life, and you'll be able to quickly weed out those who aren't right for you, which is very true. And the last question is, how do you envision meeting someone? Where? How? Write down 5 ways in the past you've met potential partners and 5 ways you would like to meet someone in the future, which is huge. Like, who would think about something like that? Like, another question that had me stuck for a minute, like, how did I meet my previous partners, even some of my sneaky links? Like, how did I meet them? Where did I meet them? And obviously, if I want a better outcome, if I want a different outcome, now I have to think about where I would want to meet my partner. So they would have to now be in my path of, my daily routine. Like, that's one thing I said, I don't want to have to go out my way to meet my person. My schedule, I go to work, I go to the gym at 4 a.m. That's the first thing. I put myself first every morning. Before I go to work, before I clock in and work for anybody else, I'm working for me. So I go to the gym, go to work, I take myself out on dates. I make sure to, I set the bar higher and higher every time for myself. So that way the person that comes in my life, they know, what they have to, what they have to look forward to, what they have to do, in order to make me happy. So yes, highly recommend this book. Anybody, like I said, single, whether you're actively dating or not, just please get this book. I promise you, it's so good. It's so worth it. Helps you date with intention and with purpose, and you're not just aimlessly wandering and wasting your time with useless people. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I do want to ask y'all one question though. I do want y'all to answer this question for me, and be nice. Don't chew me up. Don't be disrespectful. Don't do too much. But I want to ask y'all, is it crazy that I have my husband on my vision board? Is that crazy? Like, my future husband is on my vision board. So earlier today, when I was grocery shopping, I also went to Walmart, and I saved a photo of this man on my phone, and I went to the little photo section. I went to the little photo section, right? And I printed out a picture of him, and I put it on my vision board because I believe in prayer, manifestation, and hard work. And I just know that this is my husband. I just know subconsciously I've crossed off about 70 to 80% of those things. So I believe in, you know, speaking things into existence, and it'll happen. So like I said, let me know if I'm crazy, if I'm delusional, that I put this man on my vision board because I want him real bad. We gonna come back to that in a couple years. We might not be matching pajamas this year, maybe next year. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna let y'all know if I got him. But yeah, let me know if I'm crazy, if I'm delusional, if I'm just crazy, just a hopeless romantic. I don't know, that's just my man, that's my husband. Y'all let me know down below, and just let me know your thoughts on this entire video. That's really all I have to say about my abstinence journey, my self-love journey. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next. If I left anything out that you would like to know, leave a comment, and follow me on my social media accounts. I will have those in the description box, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.